Hi, hello, my name is Taquisha Lachey if it's your first time here, and if it's not your first time here, welcome back, yay. Today's video is going to be tropes in a cup. So I filled this cup with a couple of tropes, and it's just gonna be like, hopefully, like a 1-minute dissertation on how I feel about them. So I figured it'd just be like a fun thing. I'm wanting to do vlogs soon. I have a lot of exciting things coming up for fall because fall is my favorite season. It's just so like chilly and beautiful, and the leaves change, and I don't stop drinking iced coffee even in winter, but like pumpkin spice. Fall is just my favorite. You get all the Halloween movies, even though I'm scared, like I don't like horror films, but like you get the experiences and they're like free, like just the seasons changing, and yeah, so it's really fun. I loved summer. I was a summer girl. I'm a summer baby, but I realized that I think I fell into like the trap of like, oh, summer is so fun, passion, you know, endless days, and but like really I was just hot and like reading. Like, so I guess one day when I'm like interesting, maybe I can go do things and it'll be exciting. But for now, I'm a fall girl. The first trope that we're doing, and I'm thinking of if I'm gonna do recommendations or not. First one, why am I nervous? It's silly, why am I nervous? Okay, the first trope, fake dating. Wow, how do I feel about fake dating? Okay, fake dating, I think at the end I'll actually rate them, but fake dating, I'm kind of mid on that. Like, I won't read a book because someone's fake dating, but I'm not gonna not read it. It depends on like the situation. Like most of the time I'm just like, I don't know, I'm a very like be honest type of person. So when people are just like, oh, we have to fake date, I'm like, okay, why? But I do think it's a fun plot, and I love what happens when this gets brought up. I mean, I love that usually you have to like, oh, we should probably get comfortable touching. I love what comes with this plot, but it's not this plot that's my favorite. It's like the effect. There are a lot of fake dating books. I think I've spoken about this book before, but basically they work together. He saves her out of an elevator. He comes out and everyone's filming it, and he does like a charity rugby thing. And he's like, oh, this is actually really good for that. Can we fake date? I love this book. Zafir is one of my favorites. Very good. And fake dating comes up a lot. It's something I enjoy. Like The Love Hypothesis is another one. So it's usually like a classic rom-com. Found family trope. I love this trope. I had to put it in even though it's not really a romance thing, but there are some that have like found family. I think it's always wonderful to like feel like you don't know your place in this world, and maybe your birth family doesn't have the love that you want from them, or they're not capable of giving it, or maybe you've always felt outside and alone, and then you start dating someone and they all like take you in and adopt you. That is always gonna be one of my favorites. So even if it's not in fantasy, it's amazing in romance. I put Akatar, obviously, from Sarah J. Maas, the Fallen Men series from Gianna Darling. It's a biker series, and like I love a good found family. Even I read Icebreakers. I think I will do like a what I read this month. He's a hockey guy, and like that whole team basically takes her in. Found family is just always going to hit, because not only are you getting a relationship out of this, a good love, a healthy, like, you know, the one, you're also going to get people who love you and take you in and would like do anything for you as well. So found family, I'll probably put this at number 3 for now. We'll see. Found family is just, it never misses. It's probably why fantasy is like my favorite genre, because that's usually like one of the main things, like, you know, love a good found family. Let's see, what's the next one? Friends to lovers. I personally, okay, friends to lovers. Okay, friends to lovers, I like it. I don't love it, because to me, like, it always feels like people wait a really, really long time, and then they finally, like, it's been years, but it does depend. If you've known me since I was 6 and we started dating at 17, that's okay. But I feel like when they're like in their older 20s and they've both been through a lot of relationships, you know, I don't think I've read many friends to lovers. I really don't. Wow, maybe that's why I don't like it. I just have it, I've never like gravitated towards it. And like when I'm thinking of it right now, even though I've read a lot of romance books, I don't think I'm sure I've read at least one. Nothing really stands out. Friends to lovers though, it is nice. I can understand the appeal of like, we've always been friends. Could we be something more? But for me, I'm okay with it. I don't love it's again, it's like I don't love it, but I'm not like running because someone's like friends to lovers. It's a good trope because I understand the like tension of like, we've always been this thing where we're so comfortable together and I've had a crush on them for however long and I feel like they don't feel the same, and then the other person starts feeling that, and you know, and they know so much about you. But like for me, I'll put it at number 4. I think that's fair, especially for me. Okay, I'm trying to think of any friends to lovers. Friends to lovers, friends to lovers, friends to lovers. Oh, Love in Other Words. That's a good friends to lovers, but that's like a second chance romance. But like they're friends and they become lovers. It's not a good recommendation. Someone down there, help each other out. Okay, sorry. Soulmates. I'm a sucker for soulmates. It's never gonna miss for me. In fantasy, it's amazing to see that like they have a bond that's literally a tangible thing and like they belong together. And also in like romance books, when they say that they feel that they're made of the same thing, or they say that like they can just feel like just upon looking at, I love soulmates. I'm a real big sucker for it. I will read a book if it says that someone's soulmates, or if it like implies that someone has a bond. I'm like, yep, because it feels eternal. I don't know if I can put this at 3 though. I love it. Okay, let's move everything down 1. Fake dating 6, friends to lovers 5, and soulmates can be 4, because I just don't see it being 3. Yeah, maybe. Let's go in again. Oh, soulmates. You can read ACOTAR. You can read. I feel like I'm such a mess in this video. I'm still posting it though. Read When Heroes Fall. I personally believe they're soulmates, but for me it's easier in fantasy when it's like, no, for real, those soulmates. If you like soulmates, you could read the Blue Alien romance book, because wow, okay. Hi son. It was so great all day, so I'm really happy. I'd read the Blue Alien books, because literally like their thing won't go off unless they meet like their perfect mate. They're actually really good. They're like good filler books. Like Jasmine and I were talking, if you read a whole book and then you want to read something, or it's heavy, or you just don't, you know, you'll read the whole book if you start it. It's just really simple, easy, like basic necessity type of romance. Like the mate just wants their mate to be happy, satisfied, safe, warm, and to have babies. That's it. That's it. They're blue aliens. Don't talk to me. Talk to your mama. Okay. The next trope is love triangle. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's number 10. I don't like love triangles. I don't think I've ever experienced it working out well. It's not my favorite. It's always in fantasies. There's like one guy who's blonde and one guy who's brunette, and like one who's emotionally capable of communicating and emulating their feelings, and the other one who's like growling in a corner. I always pick the one who growls in a corner, by the way. But like, I personally am like, I know who I want them to pick. So for me, it's not confusing. And I'm always just irritated that I feel like someone at the end of the day is being strung along and is going to be hurt. And I feel like I don't like it at all. If you tell me there's a love triangle, I'm probably not going to read your book. I have read a couple, but it was in fantasy, so like wasn't up to me. I was here for the quest, and unfortunately a love triangle came with it. But yeah, I don't like it. If you, Hunger Games, if you've read the Sophie Lark series, The Kingmakers, the first book is a love triangle. Don't like it. Not a fan of love triangle. I could drag that forever. I just don't get it. Like you have someone, and usually you have like the familiar person, and then you have this new person who just brings out a different side of you. But at the end of the day, like one of them is usually so obvious. I'm just saying, like even at Hunger Games, I am still someone who romantically is more like, I liked Gail because I know I know. I like help each other survive for so long. And even when I watched the movie, I was like, she really picked PETA. Like, I was upset, but then I read the books and it's like, sometimes fire doesn't need more fire. And like, PETA was this person who was healthy for her and calming, but I still didn't, like, we were literally fighting for our lives in that book. Like, people were dying. Like, we were trying to change our lives in the world and not have games every year as we knew it. So like, even in that sense, I was like, love triangles are like hardly ever necessary. And even outside of fantasy, I'm just like, girl, you get one wife. Next one, enemies to lovers. You know I love an enemies to lovers. It's just, okay, let me tell you why I love enemies to lovers, okay? Enemies to lovers is amazing because you meet this person, and I usually really like it if the girl is usually so soft-spoken and, you know, usually kind of meek, and then this guy just irritates her to no end and like brings out a whole nother side of her. Because the thing is, it's sort of like the opposite of friends to lovers, but the same type of thing. In friends to lovers, people love it because it's like, someone's known me my whole life and they still love me and they just want more with me. But in enemies to lovers, I love it because you're not getting their best side. You're not getting the like, I'm a nice guy routine. You're getting the like, you know what, I really don't like you. And the other person's like, I don't like you either. And then through some sort of like forced proximity, they like learn more about each other. They go into this relationship differently. It comes from a place of respect and admiration, and then, oh my God, what was that? Like attraction and this build up and this tension that they've always had because they would like argue or be rivals. All of a sudden they're wondering if the other person feels it too, and if, you know, and it's just, I love it. The build up in these, you can do the hating game, anti-heroes in love duet, you can do direct from Lauren Asher, you can do so many. Enemies to lovers is like my favorite thing. It's just very nice. Like, I said favorite, but is it gonna be number one? Probably, actually. It'll be number two. It'll be number two. Because I love it, but at the same time, you can get tired of it. It gets to being sort of stagnant. The next trope we're gonna talk about is second chance romance. I'm glad that this came up. I don't love it. It's normally for me just like, it has to be done right. I'm not gonna run to it. I don't know, but I low-key would, if I heard that something is a second chance romance, would not be as excited to read it. It's not to say if your plot doesn't sound good, I won't still read it, but I just personally feel like if you messed up one time, what's so different now? I usually love the flashbacks. I'm like, oh my God, this was so beautiful. And I'm just wondering what broke them up. And usually I feel like it's not a good enough reason. I'm like, oh, okay. And if that broke you up, then I just don't see your future of you staying together. So second chance romance recommendations. You could do Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. You could do People Who Meet on Vacation. That's a second chance as well. It's sort of like a second chance friendship to lovers, but sometimes you have seasons for people and you need to learn to let their seasons come and go and let them be a memory, because some of these relationships weren't worth it. I'm putting second chance at number 9. Next one. This is the one I have a movie recommendation for. Secret Identity. I like it's a 50-50 for me. I've had some where I really don't like it. It depends. Sometimes it's really fun, like a secret admirer, and then you end up starting to talk for real and you wonder. But like normally it feels like a lie. Like there is sort of a secret identity trope in The Fine Print. There's a secret identity trope in Punk 57. They have that trope. There are so many, and most of the times it makes me feel ick because one party is like completely oblivious and the other one knows. But especially if they're like already intimate, I'm like, okay, you should tell the truth. But in a movie, I really like it. Some Like It Hot with Marilyn Monroe. In films, I like it, but in books, just because I have to be in people's heads and I know the girl's insecurities so well and I can't enjoy it that much. But in movies, you see they're just like harsh personality and then they start warming up and you know that the nail's gonna drop, but like it's easier than being in their head and hearing how like this is the first time they felt this way, and, or dating ex's dad or family member. This one, again, for me, there's like a side to me that's like, you get it, but only if the guy is like really toxic. Like only if that person who you're breaking up with or they broke up with you is like extremely mean and toxic. If their dad is nicer, then go for it. normally like you're gonna have to deal with this person forever. Like you have dated someone who you could have had kids with and that would have been their grandfather, but instead that's gonna be their brother. It blows my mind. So it's weird that I like it, but I can see where it's like, it's just, I'll read it. I'm not gonna run to it. There's pretty much like only 3 things that I'm gonna run to, and that's gonna be like enemies to lovers, if you tell me it's soulmates, or forced proximity. I love forced proximity, but like other than that, it's hard. Like I won't run to them, but I can enjoy them if done right, because I am like fairly sensitive to like being in people's heads, and I know how much it's gonna hurt them, and I'm like, oh my God. I love drama, but not to certain extents, especially when it's family drama. I'm like, no, like this dad and the son need their relationship. If you want a recommendation for that, it's Praise. And I didn't like Bo in that book, so it was like easier to read, but later on I don't like the main character, Charlie, so it's give or take. But there are a lot of recommendations for this one. Again, let's all help each other out and like write it in the comments. Also, if you made it this far, please comment your favorite trope. Thank you so much. Anyway, the last one I think is my other one. Stuck Together, Forced Proximity. Wait, it's not the last one. I was wrong. My bad. False ending. I love forced proximity. There's just something about it. Weirdly enough, and again, I'm so particular. I don't like kidnapping books. I'm not like a Beauty and the Beast type of chickadee. But like say they're rivals and they have to go like up to this, you know, they have to go out somewhere and their car breaks down, or it's like a snowed in cabin situation, or like we have to share this room for right now because the hotel was incompetent, we have to share. I'm gonna eat that up, because usually they both have already been feeling these things, and this closeness, like they only got away with thinking the other one was indifferent or didn't like them because they wouldn't spend any time alone, but now they have to. And there's always moments of like, oh no, I'll sleep on the couch. Oh no, it's fine. The bed's big enough for 2. And I'm always just like, yes, like bread and butter. I'm gonna read a forced proximity book. I love that I said that, but I don't really have recommendations for you, but I will think about them after I'm done editing and try to put it in the comments. That's gonna have to be like number 3 over soulmates, because it's like, I have more access to it. Yeah, I want you to know every time I film, someone either calls me, texts me, or knocks and comes into the room, and I usually edit it out, but I'm gonna keep it in this time. The last one, Forbidden Romance. Oh, how could I forget? Forbidden Romance is fantastic. I love it. There's something about Forbidden Romance, like star-crossed lovers, like the Romeos and Juliets, or like, it's just really nice. I love a good Forbidden Romance. It's never not satisfying. I love it because there's this tension and they know that they can't. And I love tension. That's like my favorite thing, which is probably kind of obvious from the things that are my favorite. Like if there's a sense of like, I want you, but I can't have you. And maybe that's why I like slow burn so much. You have to wait until something finally breaks and someone's like, you know what, F it. And then they make out. Your company might be taking over my company, or we're not allowed to date because of the workplace rules, or you know, even in fantasy, like if it's star-crossed lovers, eat that up. You want each other, but it's just not allowed. Inadequate Heir is a good fantasy one because their kingdoms are literally coming to war, and there was like a chance of peace, like a small chance of peace. And again, I don't really hate any of these except for Love Triangle. And I'm not saying like if you have a really good plot, and I don't know, I probably won't read it, never mind. I'm lying. Okay, Love Triangle's at number 10. It just, no. Number 1 can be enemies to lovers or rivals to lovers. Oh, or should it be number 1, Forbidden Romance versus enemies to lovers? I just sound like a toxic person. Is enemies to lovers still? I know. Insanity. Number 2 is Forced Proximity. I love Forced Proximity. Number 3 is Forbidden Romance. Number 4 is Found Family. Number 5 is Soulmates. Number 6 is Fake Dating. Number 7 is Friends to Lovers. Number 8, number 8 is Second Chance. Number 9 is Secret Identity, just because I don't actually read that many secret identities. Number 10 can be Revenge Dating. Number 11 is family members, you know, exes, family members or something of that nature. And number 12 is love triangle. I didn't know I did 12. I really thought I did 10, but there goes my counting for the day. I hope that you all really enjoyed this video. I have to go take my sister to work, so it has to be cut a little bit quickly, but so many videos that I'm so excited to make, like vlogs, and the fall is my favorite. I'm definitely gonna try to get into some like cool dark academia type vibes. I've been wanting to read We Were Villains for a year now, and it's finally about time to come back to that. I'm gonna do a reread of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue and bring you along with me, and we'll go on cute little solo dates with me and have me annotating it. I'm really excited for that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, wherever you are in this world. Yes, please. I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, night, and life. That is all. Bye.